So we ready for our roundup?
Yeah, let's do our wrap up. Should I go first since you've gone first the last few times?
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so I watched Trog, which I think might actually also be Hammer Films. It is the last film that Joan Crawford was in. There are
Mm-hmm.
different stories as to whether she was, how lucid or not she was on set, having to do with alcohol.
Mm.
And I think and then Michael Gough, I don't know how to say his name, but Alfred Pennyworth from he's the one character in all four Batman movies, like the Burton Batman and the Schumacher Batmans. So that was kind of an interesting. He was interesting to see him, and he plays asshole in that movie. But it was
Mm-hmm.
interesting to watch. It is also it's. I might have you watch it because it's kind of so bad it's good. I'm curious if Kirby has ever seen it,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's just kind of an amusing, stupid little movie. Like, and there's like a guy with an ape suit thing that you see a lot, and apparently it's one of the apes from 2001. That opening scene, and so it's like it's a weird little novelty. So I enjoyed Trog. Ultimately, it was dumb and bad, but good. Also had some Ray Harryhausen animation in there. Those dinosaurs that show up. Anyways, I watched Trouble in
That was
Paradise.
funny when you asked me if I liked Ray Harryhausen and if I didn't like Ray Harryhausen animation, and I was like, I have nothing wrong with the animation, just just the movies it's in.
I just didn't know if I'd ever talk to you about it. So it makes total sense because they really aren't your kind of stories. But like, I really enjoyed the not the Seven
Jason
Boys.
and the Argonauts, or
Jason and the Argonauts. Like, I really enjoyed it. It is totally not your kind of story because it's just like kind of
yeah,
Greek Roman stuff, you know. But
yeah,
anyways, then you and me both watched Trouble in Paradise with our mother, socially distant,
yes.
uh, and I, it's funny. I like Ernst Lubitsch's humor because I've seen a couple of his other movies,
Mm-hmm.
um, and but he doesn't his films are kind of amusing, but like Trouble in Paradise is a bit too long. It doesn't
The
ultimately work.
stories, it's like his humor is good and his filmmaking is good, but the stories don't seem to quite come together.
No, and
But
he's directing the.
I haven't watched Ninotchka, which I know is the one that like Billy Wilder always held up as being brilliant. So I'm curious about that one, or
Yeah, I want to
Ninotchka,
watch some more
or how to
Lubitsch.
pronounce it.
Yeah, I want to watch some more Lubitsch because this one just doesn't quite work ultimately. I still enjoyed sections of it, and there's in the 30s there weren't people weren't necessarily doing a lot with their camera. Like it was like sitcoms. You set up your camera from this angle and you sort of make
Well,
it
the
work.
cameras were huge.
Yeah, you can't
They
do as
made a ton
much.
of noise, like they had to do.
But Lubitsch has a real thing with like how he does things visually. Like his
Yeah,
visual jokes are really pleasing.
yeah.
Anyways, I watched The Little Prince, the 1974 version. I'd never read that story. All I can tell you is it's a fever dream. It is someone's fever dream. There,
Yeah.
Bob, like it is Bob Fosse shows up. Um, um, what's his name? Not Mel Brooks. Gene Wilder shows up. Oh wait, no, Mel Brooks showed up in the Muppet movie. Anyways, Gene Wilder shows up, and it's just like, what is happening? Like, it just makes no sense. And there's some singing and some stuff. Bob Fosse. But I said Bob Fosse. Yeah, and it's like Bob Fosse's a snake, and it's like, why are you in this movie, Bob Fosse? Anyways, I don't know what I watched. It was an experience. Then we did Dawn of the Dead. Then I did the Muppet movie, which I'd never actually seen. It turns out I thought I'd seen it, but I'd only seen Manhattan and one of the other ones that's escaping me at the moment. The Muppet movie was fun. I enjoyed the Muppets. It's not as good as the ones that I already know about. Like, I think it's their first actual movie, and
I'm
it's
not sure what of the. I've seen some of them when I was very small. I watched the Muppet Babies TV show.
oh right,
Not recall the movies very well.
yeah.
And I
I
definitely haven't seen any of the ones from the last 30 years. So
Well, there's some fun. Mel Brooks shows up in the Muppet movie, and then the main guy in the main villain is Charles Durning or Dunning. I think it's Durning. He's was
mm-hmm.
in Rescue Me. I think that firefighter show for a
Mm-hmm.
while. Anyway, so there was some fun stuff in there, and there's some really neat gags and some fun stuff. But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it was like, it's fun. I like some of the other ones better. And then I
Mm-hmm.
finished off the last two of the Brothers Quay movies that I hadn't seen that were on Criterion, which includes
Mm-hmm.
in absentia, which I'd already seen, it was one of the movies we saw in theaters over at the whenever we saw those Quay movies. I don't remember where that was now.
That was at the silent movie theater that we
That was
saw
at the
them.
silent movie theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that was cool to see that. And then something called the Phantom Museum, which had all these interesting medical, like medical stuff that was used, like an old prosthetic leg, or like these different devices, or these dolls where you take them apart and see the organs.
Yeah.
Like that was
I've seen that one. I've seen a lot of these. I don't remember them I mean, I can't remember the names for that.
Well, yeah, some of the names are difficult. Anyways, it was pretty neat. So that's what I saw.
So now you need to watch all of Stankmeyer's stuff.
Yes, I do.
He did some full-length movies I've never watched. He did Alice and Little Otik.
Yeah.
So my turn.
Your turn.
So I don't have a ton to report. I started watching for various reasons. I mean, you can ask, but I started watching some of the family dramas that Korea makes, and these are like 50 episodes instead of 16, and they're somewhere around like, and I hate like trying to compare different countries' media like it's interchangeable. It's not, but there's something almost like a sitcom soap opera. Seem to be lower budget, faster to produce, but not quite like an American soap opera would be. Yeah. And it's interesting to see when they even slow the pace down. And I was even reading a review that talked about like these are like housework shows, like and partially that's what it is. It's like, oh, it's this character. I don't care as much about this character. Instead of pausing, I'm just gonna like go get a few things done and I'll come back when it's like a different character. Because already you have a gist of what the scene's gonna be about, because we're gonna go over the same issue like 3 or 4 times before we make progress. But that also feels like somewhat true to life. And you know, the things in them that are happening are ridiculous. They're in on one level where it's like people who pretending to be other people and you know, is this my child? Is this not? But then you think about all the stuff that DNA is revealing about like, oh, I guess I'm not related to the people. So it feels, you know, it's almost like Law and Order became funny at a certain point because every serial killer that had ever existed in the world like showed up eventually in a Law and Order episode which takes place in New York. So it's like concentrated everything into New York, like all these famous crimes and stuff like that all happen. It's that thing. It's like the drama that can take place over 10 years in a family's life. Like, let's pretend it all happens over a period of months.
Right.
And there's also definitely like there's interesting media hierarchies anyway. Recently, a few months ago, I was listening to My Favorite Murder Ladies get really excited that Emma Thompson was on their show. And the thing is, the My Favorite Murder Ladies are as famous as you could possibly be in podcasting. But a Hollywood, you know, famous actress is still, you know, it's like there's these weird hierarchies of, and so one of the daytime drama there, and that's where I'm a little confused too, because these dramas air at different times. So I think what I'm watching now, like a weekend drama is different than a daytime, like and I don't know about that because I don't know when I could look into it, but I haven't. But there's definitely one of the ones I'm watching now actually has a character who's an actor in it. And like, you know, there's things that are more prestigious to be in than other things kind of, and that's kind of interesting. Anyway, just, you know, those will take me a little bit to get through since they're 50 1-hour long episodes. And then I watched Lucky Grandma, which was interesting because it's another Asian American experience, to the point where you almost wouldn't know that it's not China, except that like there's the grandma character and all, you know, her kids speak English and Chinese interchangeably, and then her grandkid, and then occasionally you see white people, but it's very much in like Chinatown, New York. And I'm throwing it on the list for you because I think you might like it. But the Lucky Grandma character is this older, you know, 80-year-old woman who kind of gets involved with some Chinese gangs. And
interesting.
they do some good stuff with it, but it does kind of, what do I want to say? To get it to work, I feel like it does. They aren't quite able to get it to work,
Right.
but it's still really interesting.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, I'll need to watch
And that's
that.
kind of it for me.
Yeah, I have nothing. I've been watching some Amazing Race and Stargate stuff, but I don't watch reality TV, but for some reason Amazing Race,
Yeah.
I saw an episode and now I'm watching it. But what are we watching in the future? Oh wait, what am I saying? I know what we're watching in
I'm
the
going to keep
future.
working on the.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, right. Let's talk about that for a moment.
So we're theming our months, from now until we stop.
So November, yeah.
November will be Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, and we've both seen some of her films. We both like her.
She's a great gal. We're gonna go roughly in chronological order. Yeah.
Fun at a party.
Fun at a party. We're gonna go roughly in chronological order. Though we're gonna do a couple of them as a group because I guess we've already, I think basically the ones we've kind of already seen that we're not as in love with, we're gonna do as a group. But otherwise, we're gonna be watching Marilyn Monroe, like the Asphalt Jungle and the musicals and Niagara.
Don't forget to knock. Some of the musicals.
Bus Stop, yeah. Anyways, so we're gonna do that. And what are we doing outside of that? Are you watching anything outside of that?
I'm gonna keep watching what I've been watching. It's my turn to give you a movie, and I think I'm giving you Crimson Peak. You gave me a gothic movie. I'm gonna give you an actual gothic movie to watch. So watch an actual gothic movie.
My movie was gothic. It may have been more gothic in the setting than anything else, but it's still gothic.
So watch Crimson Peak. Maybe I'll put that on in the background so that I can remember more than what I remember.
Excellent. I will try and get that done this week with any luck. And I don't know. I'm not sure I'm watching anything else too much. I mean, I haven't looked at what's leaving on Criterion, and that'll somewhat dictate what I watch. But I'll also probably try some of those 70s horror and probably some more of the Muppet movies, get through some of those.
Cool.
That's all I got.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It's been fun. Have a good day.
November.
Have a good November. All right. Bye.
Bye.